What's up, guys? Jeremy Clark here at Phil's Jackson on X, coming to you from the Premium Tier Futures Discord. That's at Premium FTS on X, and also at the Chop Zone on YouTube. So check us out. Just going to do a little discussion on the Wyckoff method. One of our users at NQ Dawn, I think, posted this great schematic that I just wanted to share. And I saw some of this happening on Friday, and basically, you can see the accumulation happening here. These sort of points of support and resistance, and then you got this nice little breakdown, which turned out to be a shakeout, a spring event, and then that led to basically a squeeze. It broke out of the top line of resistance, and then we did get that kind of touchback, and then it was off and running. Um, but I found personally this is a very tough day to trade. I know a lot of people in Discord were struggling on Thursday and Friday. On Friday for me was particularly difficult. I had an okay time trading the open for the first hour. It was difficult, but it was doable, and then I stayed in, which I should not have done. Lately, I've been trying to stay out after the first hour, maybe hour and a half if it's really going, but that's it for me. Um, I didn't follow that rule, and I paid the price for it, um, hitting my max daily loss in one of my accounts, which is a huge bummer, and I hate that. But it takes me back to what was happening. We'd been in this big downtrend, and then price started bouncing around in this zone, and it turned out it was an accumulation. Um, there were some other markers for that I kind of clued into. Let me just see if I can pull up what that looks like here. So heading over to Bookmap, the heat map, I just wanted to show you what that schematic would look like in this, if I was using the Bookmap heat map. So you can see we had this big drop, price came down, and then it started to bounce around in this range. And the thing that I've been watching lately, you notice the white areas of liquidity. There's a stretch here and a stretch here. These are bracket orders that move in sync. So when one goes up, the support goes up at the bottom, the resistance goes up at the same time. And when that's happening, you just see the high frequency traders, the algos, just going nuts in the middle. And so it's very hard to predict, but it's very hard to trade because as these start going up with no warning, I wasn't seeing big orders stacking on the bid until it started to move. So, these bracket orders started to go up, and all of a sudden the HFTs or the algos or whoever started working the bid. And every time they worked the bid, they would sell it off real quick. And you can see that's kind of what happened right here. Work the bid, work the offer, work the bid, work the offer. Just total kill zone. And so a lot of times when I see these, you know, two big white lines that are equidistant apart of liquidity on the heat map, and then you look over here and there's some smudgy gray liquidity, but not a lot. There's not a lot in the interior. So they're just working the spread here. I'll show you another example. This one was from, I believe, Thursday or Friday. And when I see this, you know, I just want to stay out. I want to tell myself, in the future, stay out because it's just so heavily manipulated. Um, I'll give you an example of what I mean. So again, you've got these two, lines of liquidity, these bracket orders that are controlling price. Price is going to stay basically in the middle of those. So if they want to move price up, they move the bracket orders up. If they want to move price down, they move the bracket orders down. Who is they that's doing this? I don't know. Market makers, institutional money, someone with deep pockets who's accumulating. I'm not really sure. And I'm not really sure if the HFTs are simply just responding to the movements of these bracket orders, or if, as I suspect, the bracket orders and the HFTs are operating, together in sync. Um, but you can see right here, we went from 1253 to 1255. This is a 2-minute run, um, with some pullbacks, but look at the low volume. There's no volume here until we get to the end of this run. So this is just a low volume push down, and there's no big white chunks of liquidity on either side. There's a bit of a void here at 54.57, a bit of a void at 54.39. That's actually acted as support. You can see we got a little bounce there. But to trade this, you know, there's a small buy side absorption that happened right here on this big volume dot. But you notice it's not like a big absorption like this one. So to call this as a turnaround just based on the volume would be kind of difficult. To spot it, in terms of these bracket orders, just nearly impossible, because they just flip on you anytime they want. And you can see that in here. It came up, came down, it came up, it came down, it came up. These orders are just moving up and down, and then they pick a direction and price flows in that direction. So anytime I see these two stacked lines of imbalances, I just want to remind myself to stay out and wait. What did end up happening was that price was accumulating, and what really threw me about this play was, or this trade was, sorry, what threw me about this session was that price was not respecting the value area high on the cumulative volume profile. Um, it was just blasting through it. Let's say that this was value area high right here at say 54.47. Price was blasting up to 10 or 12 points, and then coming back down, breaking through value area high and going below it, but it was never breaking value area low. But it was retesting VPOC and VWAP quite a bit and under VWAP, so it was like, are we long? Are we short? Are we long? Are we short? It's just getting all these mixed signals. And I was just garbage on that day. So this is just something I look for. It really shows up well on the Bookmap heat map. What I would like to see is if these sort of shaded gray areas of liquidity were stronger and whiter and fuller, or if you're using the heat colors, this could be like a bright red up here, and maybe to an orange to a yellow, and then you would have some sort of sense of a target, Um, these little shaded gray areas, this is where liquidity may have been and got pulled. This may just be low levels of liquidity. You want to see a big chunk of white like that one right there at 54.51. That's a target. And you'd like to see these stacked higher, with price pushing towards it on volume. Or, you want to see this act as resistance and price bounce off that and get pushed away from it. That's a tradable event. But this right here, where price is in between these two lines, I find this very difficult to really tell where it's going. So that's just something I wanted to share. Um, I think we're going to keep this kind of short today. I think that my other two collaborators are busy and I got in late. So I'm going to leave it at that. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on X or on YouTube. And again, that's Phil's Jackson on X, at Premium FTS on X, or at the Chop Zone on YouTube. Thanks so much, and I will see you in chat.